Hello from Retford, the first of two locations for today's episode of Exploring the East Coast. Retford station's behind me. I've just arrived on a Hull train service from London King's Cross. But before we explore Retford, welcome to Flights and Times. So Retford is actually on a railway crossroads. There is the East Coast Mainline at the high level station here, and then the Sheffield to Lincoln line via Gainsborough on the low level platforms. So there's roughly an hourly service to and from King's Cross, either by LNER on their York services or Hull trains on the Hull services, and then there is an hourly service on the Sheffield to Lincoln line. So there's relatively good connections across the country, but it is only hourly services in each direction on each line, so not too much. But I'm going to head into Retford itself now. Got a couple of hours here before getting back here to the station to head one stop north to Doncaster. So I'm here alongside the Chesterfield Canal on my way into centre of Retford. Behind me is the canal, and below me is the River Idle. So essentially that way is Chesterfield, that way is the River Trent, that way is the River Trent, and in front of me essentially is you'd eventually get to Mansfield. I don't know, when I looked at a map I thought they actually kind of joined here, but no, the canal crosses the river on a bridge. Behind me is Retford's Market Square, quite empty today, no market on a Monday, but also is the Town Hall, Old Bank's that way, police station. It's home to the War Memorial. But Retford is one of Britain's oldest market towns, with its market charter having been granted in 1106. So 900 plus years of markets in Retford now. But also in Retford is the Bassett Law Museum, which is where I'm going to head to next, see if it's open. But yeah, Retford has a few very nice, stunning buildings. So yeah, let's see what there is at the Bassett Law Museum. So behind me is number 40 Grove Street, also known as Amcott House, now home to the Bassett Law Museum. It's a grade 2 star listed building. Actually, there's quite a lot of grade 2 or 2 star listed buildings on Grove Street. But yeah, Bassett Law Museum, it's free to enter, open most weekdays and weekends. Have a look on my website, which I'll put in the description below. But yeah, I'm going to have a look around and see what there is before wandering around Retford and back up to the station. Hopefully that's given you a bit of an insight as to what is in the Bassett Law Museum. Essentially loads. It's completely free to enter. I've just had a wander around for about 20-25 minutes, but there is everything from archaeology to war history to a 1940s kitchen. Essentially anything you can think of, the Bassett Law Museum's got a bit of it in regards to the town's history. Also, just over the road is this very imposing Methodist church, which towers over the local buildings and was designed to do so. So yeah, if you're in Retford, make sure to head down to the Bassett Law Museum. I'm going to walk back to the station now via Kings Park. I'm just inside the entrance of Retford's King's Park. It was opened in 1938 to both commemorate the reign of George V and also the coronation of George VI. Cost about £7,000 to £8,000 to construct in the money of those times. About 2,000 of which was raised by public subscription. It's donated by the owner of West Retford Hall, which is still to one of the boundaries of the site. And it was extended across the River Idle from the formal gardens to a more open parkland in 1960. So I'm going to wander through on my way back to the station, and next stop is Doncaster. Come down to the south end of platform 1 here at Retford, where the connection to the low-level station, platforms 3 and 4 on the Sheffield to Lincoln line are. In addition to the regular Sheffield to Lincoln service, there's also a peak hours only service to Gainsborough Central, which only sees services during the peak. And on the Saturday, that Gainsborough Central service continues via Curtin, Linsby and Brigg, which only see Saturday services. Continues to Grimsby Town. So yeah, there is a little bit of a railway oddity here at Retford, but I've got about 20 minutes before my northbound Hull train service to Doncaster, so I'm going to grab a quick drink and I'll see you in Donny. So I'm now at Doncaster. Behind me is Wabtec, Doncaster Works. Doncaster is a massive town in railway history. The Great Northern's locomotive and carriage works were in Doncaster. There are still lots of freight yards surrounding to the south of the station mainly. It's also an important junction where the Leeds branch of the East Coast Mainline branches off the Mainline. So from here there are direct services across England and the North East. Got Sheffield, Leeds, Scotland and London obviously, across to Hull, down to Lincoln and Peterborough via the Great Northern Line. Yeah, there is services everywhere to here pretty much. Grand Central to Wakefield. So yeah, essentially if you want to come to Doncaster, essentially take your pick, stick it in a journey planner. Odds are you'll have a direct service or one change only. Plenty of freight. I think something's just about to go past us here. What we got? Something noisy. 66085, pulling a goods train. Behind me on 8 we've got the service to Sheffield. So yeah, I'm going to head into the town now. Sorry, Doncaster's a town. This is a Minster town, so my first stop's going to be the Minster. And then in 2 hours time I'm going to be on that service, the stopping service to Sheffield, to tick off a few northern stations that I've not yet done. So yeah, welcome to Doncaster. So excuse the noise, but we're situated right next to Doncaster's Ring Road. In front of me is St George's Minster, the parish church of Doncaster, and only recently became a minster in 2004, I believe. It's a 19th century construction, rebuilt after a fire. It was designed by Sir George Gilbert Scott and described by Sir John Betterman as one of the finest examples of Victorian Gothic. It's a beautiful looking church, and yeah, I'm going to go and see if we can look inside, but I'm expecting due to COVID it potentially being closed. but we'll see what there is, and I'll then show you what else there is in Doncaster. So unfortunately the Minster is only open between 11 and 1 for open worship. It's obviously open other times for services, but yeah, it's not able to go in and have a look around at the moment due to the coronavirus situation. The other main attraction in Doncaster is the Mansion House, a beautiful historic building. However, once again, that is closed due to the coronavirus pandemic. So yeah, Doncaster, I'll be honest, the town centre's not great. There is a massive shopping centre that is very easy to get lost in, as I discovered. You kind of stumble out of the train station into that, and then have to kind of find your way out of it and then work from there, which is what I did. The front of the railway station has been recently renovated by LNER, and there is a wonderful piece of artwork about the locomotives and the railway industry at the front of the station, provided by Doncaster Town Council, which I will show in a minute. Also near Doncaster there is the South Yorkshire Air Museum, which is about a 10-minute bus ride and then a 10-minute walk from the town centre. I checked that out last year, I think, or the year before. Might have been during coronavirus, well, after a lockdown or something, I can't remember. But I have been there, and it's quite a nice little museum. Lots of interesting bits of aviation heritage. And then you've got Doncaster Airport a bit further out of the town, and there is a Vulcan bomber hosted there. But of course the big thing in the town is the railway. There's not actually any railway kind of heritage museum or anything here at Doncaster. Wabtec is still overhauling both locomotives and carriages here. It's still a active railway town. Obviously up the road in York, one station north on the East Coast Mainline, there is the National Railway Museum, and that will feature in a future episode of Exploring the East Coast when I do York and Thirsk and possibly Northallerton. But yeah, that is about it from this episode 3 of Exploring the East Coast. So I'm going to head back to Doncaster now, grab a coffee and possibly do a bit of writing whilst I wait for a Sheffield train. Then I'm going to be doing all stations to Sheffield, tick those off, before heading down to Derby this evening. So once again, thank you for watching. This has been episode 3 of Exploring the East Coast on Flights and Times. Goodbye.